The pandemic has gotten us thinking about the past and the good times we're missing out on. With this feeling of nostalgia, the Board Games group came up with a brilliant idea. With a rise in board game sales due to the lockdowns, why not reissue some of the classic games that got us bonding with our families over the years? We are excited to introduce to you the Board Games Group's Reissue-a-thon. This project exists to bring you original classics and hidden gems when it comes to board games in American society over the years. Does your family love the game of life? Why not try out the original game of life? Players get to choose their own path and aim for the ultimate prize of a happy long life. But watch out! One wrong move and you could be morally bankrupt by 1860s American standards. But if you can't take our word for it, here are the reviews of some of our happy players.
This game is horrible.
Excuse me?
This game. It's horrible.
But it's a classic.
Yeah, it's the first of its kind, but a lot of the ideas are problematic.
You get punished for stuff that was viewed as taboo over 200 years ago. On top of that, some of the morally bankrupting squares are either too offensive or aren't that bad in retrospect, while the good squares are just minor successes. Lastly, the ultimate prize of a long, happy life is just bland. I get that the game was created a long time ago, but our values have changed. Heck, the game of life now has a more materialistic bent to it. Who's to say that I want a long, happy life, or a life filled with constant riches? Why would the game dictate me to live this kind of life when they don't know me? It's more of a commentary on American society, but everyone's values don't have to be this strict, and they change with each decade. Well, if you don't like the original game of life, why not try the original Monopoly? The Landlord's game was created in the early 1900s as a way to point out society's wealth inequality. In this game, you get to...
This is Monopoly.
The only difference is that the creator got cheated out of the royalties and credits for Monopoly. Monopoly also glorifies the issues that the Landlord's game tries to point out. With how oversaturated Monopoly is, I would rather just get one version of that and stick with it, if I'm being honest. Monopoly is so ingrained in our society that it only makes sense just to have one version of it, instead of buying multiple versions. Okay, well... We also got a reissue of What Shall I Be? The exciting game of career girls. In this game, players get to...
I feel like I shouldn't have to explain why this is a bad idea.
But...
It's sexist. It just reflects the values of America's past without really addressing how we've changed as a nation.
But these are reissues of original classics that we grew up loving.
I mean, I get that, but at any point did you realize how this could all just be seen as a horrible idea?
Not really. You obviously had good intentions with what you were trying to do, reissuing these games because we're all stuck indoors, and you want families to get together and play these historic games, but you failed to mention the progress we've made as a society. You just created the boards and didn't think much else of it. You could have included a book describing the history of the game and how these issues were depicted in American society, but you went ahead and thought of the money that could have came in. These games are also boring, and fails to mention the issues present. We'll take your comments into consideration, but because we are already committed to the advertising campaign that we have, don't forget to check out our Reissue-a-thon catalog and get playing to the classics that highlight American society in the past.